part of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
From high above First Street South in oblique Minneapolis, this is Nice Games Club, the show where nice game devs talk gaming and game development.
I'm Ellen Burns-Johnson, and I play nice games.
I'm Steve McGregor, and I make nice games.
And I'm Arthur Croy, I too make nice games. For this week's episode, it's another Nice Games Jam. We have not been given a prompt this time, we'll explain later, but we're going to try to come up with a complete game that you can play by the end of this episode. Will it work? We and you are about to find out. And so everyone is ready. Everyone at this table, this in-person table where we are doing a Nice Games Jam. We're all here. In person for the first time in a long while.
Well,
let's start.
I said play instead of make.
You did. I noticed that.
It came out so naturally. And then I realized, oh my God, that's not what I'm supposed to say.
Is Steven going to pick up on it?
No, I picked up on it. I was just like, no, I'm saying Mike. Mine does not say play on it. It says make on the script.
Oh, Steven was reading the script.
I read the script every time.
This is
what episode? 225 episodes, I think, or so. I read the script every single time.
All right, I'm the only person without their laptop in front of them, which is funny because you'd think I'd grab any chance I could possibly get to have my laptop in front of me, right? Because it's so new. Yeah. But instead, in front of me, I have a bunch of prompt cards and some prototyping stuff.
Now, normally for a Nice Games Jam, longtime listeners may know, is we usually get a prompt from our boyfriend Dylan or from the show's wife Dale. But this time we're doing it a little differently. Ellen, you've brought all these prompt cards. Explain how this works.
Do you think that the show's wife knows about the show's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as everyone's...
They co-host Evil Games Club together.
Yeah, as long as everyone's in the know, that's fine. Yeah. Show do you. Okay, so I brought in a deck called Playthinker, and we will link to this in the show notes. But Playthinker is it's a website. On the back of the card, it says playthinker.com. And one of the things you can do on the website is you can order this cool deck. And this deck is a bunch of cards that all have different types of player-game interactions. Mm-hmm. So these are ways that the player interacts with the game. And they are, I'm pretty sure they're like medium agnostic. So you could use these as prompts for tabletop games or for digital games or for whatever. And they're in a few different categories. And I'm not going to worry about explaining the categories because the print on the explanation card is really small. And
you're not into reading things off of things today. So.
No, that's not my energy this late in the afternoon. Mm. I'm just gonna wing it, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So here's an example, like exploration. The player gains information mainly through examining objects and exploring their surroundings. That's one card, and there are dozens of cards. And so the idea is we draw some. And then we have to make a game that incorporates all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a really good format for our purpose here at for Nice Games Jam. What is the intended use case for this deck?
I think this exact thing
is game jams.
Yeah. Well, or just honing your game design chops, just, right?
As a practice exercise.
Yeah. Here are the 3 instructions cards. You can see how tiny the font is.
The font is very fine.
It's very small.
It's extremely tiny.
Steven can even read it from across the table.
How to... You're moving it back.
Okay. How to use Playthinker cards. You can use this deck by yourself or in a group.
2 words.
You did nail it, and then I cheated. You may prefer to keep the goals and challenges cards separate from the rest of the deck. So, there are 7 different categories. Each of the categories are player game interactions of a certain type. But then there's also this 7th, this goal stack, which is stuff like reach the end or sandbox and just, the end state goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there are a few different ways that the designers here of the Playthinker deck suggested that you use the deck. Mm-hmm. And there's freeform random, ordered random, targeted, make a genre. And I am not going to have us do any of those. So what I was thinking we could do is we could select a goal card. And then we would...
With some agency on our part. That's new.
A goal card. And then we could shuffle all these other ones and randomly pick 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way that the deck suggested that you work with the randomly drawn cards is that the one that you draw first is the most common player game interaction, and then the one that you draw second is this next most common.
Okay.
And then the one that you draw third is the third most common. And they just say more than 3 gets difficult, which makes sense.
Steven, 4 or 5, we up to it?
Yeah,
no, please
do it.
I don't know what you're
You're gonna make this hard on Ellen.
I don't know what you're doing. Hey,
We've never done this challenge before. Let's go.
all the way. Yeah.
legendary. All right. I mean, we can always try and fail, and that's allowed.
You know what we could do is maybe we could pull 2 and then kind of decide if that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, or like I think even before we like properly start, like we can. It's an unknown challenge, perhaps, but maybe we could kind of dial it in as we begin.
Yeah. We can totally. This is like they have these recommended ways that you can use the cards, but you just use them however you want because it's all about you generating ideas by yourself or with friends.
And if you've listened to a Nice Games Jam before, you know that we don't always stick to the prompt.
Yes.
Because it really just is a way to get us started.
Yeah.
But these are very specific. So I'm motivated, I think, to follow these rules. I want to please the teacher.
Yeah.
But we should know that we don't have to.
Of course, as usual. Okay, so I think what I would like to do is I'm just spreading out the several goal cards that are part of the deck.
Yes.
And I've set aside the other player game interactions cards off to the side, and I'll shuffle them in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are a couple of these goals that I'd like to remove because I don't know if they'd be super fun from game jammy perspective. But you guys disagree with me.
I want to pick aesthetic experience because why is it a goal? I don't know what that means.
Okay, so the game, I was going to remove Sandbox.
Oh, sure.
Well, let's we don't have to read all the cards, but let's just name the 7 goals.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's you. Oh, okay. I will read them.
You read them, Steven.
Yes.
You do it.
I've got good eyes.
We've proven that.
Dominance, collection, efficiency, reach the end, reach a specific end state, sandbox, and aesthetic experience.
So yeah, without describing these or reading the flavor text below, I think listeners and I'm same way. I got a general idea of what examples of what some of these games might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, except for aesthetic experience. I don't get it.
Okay.
Well, let's read that one and see, because that might be difficult. Because I think we want to do a board game style game. One, we're in person, and that's we're that's still novel for us.
Yeah,
or it's novel again for us. So we kind of probably want to play with all the props that Ellen brought. So maybe we want to take out things that don't lends itself to that. But aesthetic experience might be difficult. But I don't know. What does it say?
Aesthetic experience. The game focuses on the experience of playing rather than on the act of playing.
Oh, so like Pogs.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, they would be no fun if there was nothing drawn on them, right?
Oh, yeah. All right. That's fair.
They're
like, but wasn't there a collection? There is already a collection one, right?
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, these are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
But I do think that this one might be tricky for us.
Yeah,
for
that's
a
fair.
type game.
Yeah, this almost feels like an episode.
Yes.
You know, like, hey, remember that card? What did that card mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we talk about it for an hour.
What is?
I'm putting it down. Putting it down.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Stop it.
I also think we could remove Sandbox.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
And then we are left with these 5 to choose from as our goal.
Yeah, these all seem very doable with a board game. And,
Yeah.
we may find ourselves wanting to do a paper prototype or something, but we should be able to find our way to play with our props with any of these 5 that remain. So let's pick one, I guess. Right? We're not drawing one randomly.
Yeah, we pick one.
I think it'd be more fun to choose one as long as we don't spend more than like 3 minutes choosing.
Okay. So we should draw one randomly then?
I don't want to do dominance. I don't want to do collection.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That leaves efficiency, reach the end, and reach a specific end state. Which
That one's too many words for me to want to do it.
I actually like that one best.
Oh, okay, really? Okay.
Because it's so reach the end would be like a traditional board game.
Sure.
Like the game of life or whatever.
Yeah.
Reach a specific end state would be basically like if you're competing with other players to like,
Well, it'd be like in Robotson finishing the robot for a task.
that would be reach the end.
so the way that it describes it is
But of course, I think there's some. I'm arguing with you as if I know the definitions of these things.
Yeah,
I think it's
Ellen
all
does.
open to interpretation.
I mean, I don't know it, but it is on the card. Mark, you want to read it?
The player must make the playing field conform to predefined rules. So specific is for example, a jigsaw puzzle must be reassembled or a crossword must be filled in with letters to form words in all applicable directions. So this is more what I was thinking reach the end was, which is, well, I guess it is. It reached an end state. So what is reach the end then? What's different about that?
The primary objective of the game is to reach its milestones. Milestones can be checkpoints, unlockables at the end of each level.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
I feel like if I were writing this reach a specific end state card again, I would just write puzzle.
Puzzle.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be what they're going for. But like reach the end, like I'm thinking of is it Tokaido when you're like moving the people across the landscape and you're stopping at different places and you're gathering.
Possibly.
Never mind. Okay. I'm getting blank stares from across the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that you reach the last point on the landscape, and then you tally up whoever has the most victory points.
Oh, I see.
But the end state is you've reached the last checkpoint.
You play until the game is over rather than you play until somebody wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you play until the end, and then whoever wins is the person who has the most whatevers.
Well, what's our last card here?
Efficiency.
I do like efficiency.
Yeah. Have the most balanced character.
Yeah. Yes. The player is motivated to master the game system so that they can play cleanly and expertly. Oh my goodness. Mastery can come from precise control, knowledge of the system, exploitation of glitches, and so on. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's just a prompt.
Right.
I know, but like
that one very leads into video games.
Yeah.
I think that would be our most challenging one, but like I'm up for it.
Let's do it.
I don't think it's going to go great, but like I never think these are going to go great. We always end up with something cool. So.
No, let's do it. It actually sounds really cool if we can make it work.
Our goal is efficiency, and that could be the goal of the game design. It could be the goal of the players. I guess, right? I'm guessing there's a lot open to our interpretation.
I mean, I think that's fair, but the little prompt thing says the player specifically. But,
oh, okay.
I mean, it can also be
the player is motivated.
Right, we can motivate the player to do that, but it doesn't have to be the goal of the player.
Oh, yes, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Or it could be.
I mean, I'm excited.
Shuffling sounds.
like thinking of board game examples that fall like Rummy or something, right? Where you draw and you slowly find your way towards the right combination of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't think of it in those terms, but that is kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of efficiency. I mean, like efficiency can be it can be a present dynamic in like lots of games that you wouldn't expect. Like for some reason, Splendor is popping up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Because you have just really so few decisions that actually make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't start out, like every decision counts, especially your first couple decisions, and so you got to be really careful about your action economy. But who knows? Okay. I think about efficiency whenever I pick a sniper shooter because I don't have to walk very far to kill things.
Oh, I guess that's one way of looking at it. I thought you meant like accuracy.
I mean, yeah.
That too.
That enables the efficiency. Yeah. Okay. So I shuffled the rest of the cards, and these are the other types of player/game interactions.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Stephen choose one randomly from the big pile.
Oh my! So much pressure. Aha! Combination.
Ooh.
What does it say? Simple objects can be combined with some degree of freedom to create more complex ones. Crafting. Rube Goldberg machines. Mixing metals to obtain new alloys.
Okay, but we can't make Roboston.
all roads lead to Roboston.
Okay, Mark,
I get to draw the second one. Steven, you have to do the drum roll.
Oh my.
Okay.
Mike sounds.
Approach. Try to touch certain objects, such as power-ups, keys, coins, checkpoints, melee attacks.
How do you touch a melee attack?
This one feels like they were running out of time and needed so many cards. And wrote this one, but I like it.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's essentially the mechanic of collection, in a sense. Although it doesn't quite say it that way. All their examples imply that, or most of them do. But it seems like they're trying to get at something bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what I'm seeing here in approach is like
that might be
it's a spatial game.
It might be the challenge.
Yeah.
How to approach.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Right. Well, I think it's the one must be melee attacks is like deciding when the right time is to go closer,
use
go
it.
fast. And then like checkpoints is making your way to a thing. And then the keys, coins, power-ups are all collectibles. That's why it sort of seemed leaning in that direction. But maybe it's just about
fighting
space.
Game, but with crafting mechanics.
Do we want to?
We already did an Architects.
Dang it! Okay, well, we made too many games, I guess.
It is funny when you in using these cards. the games we've already done in Nice Games Jam come quicker to my mind.
Yeah, huh?
Because of the describing them in these ways.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Also, because the thing that I'm hearing with us talking about these two cards makes me feel like we should probably draw a third. Give us some more
Well, give me
constraints.
that deck so you can draw it.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Just
Ellen,
draw from the top.
Ellen, draw a card.
Good looking card. Exploration. The player gains information mainly through examining objects and exploring their surroundings.
Okay. So that actually pairs pretty well with approach.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I might be putting it in a box, but they seem to go together okay.
You know what comes to mind?
Mm-hmm.
Especially approach and exploration, like like hidden sunken island or whatever. I'm so bad at remembering names of games that I play on like desktop.
Well, you keep thinking because the one that came to me was Minesweeper.
Something like that. Yeah, like where you're uncovering tiles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Treasure Island.
Oh, we could do
Hidden
a whole
Island.
episode on Minesweeper.
There is
Sunken
a
Island.
Dungeons and Dragons board game, like an electronic board game.
Yeah.
That I got from a Goodwill when I was a teenager. It's from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's a grid, and the grid is they're all buttons, and you have a pewter figure. They look like a miniature because this is where everything was plastic. And you press the token down on a spot in the corner of the dungeon, and then you hear tones that tell you where the walls go, and then you have these plastic walls you place, and you just slowly make your way through. So it's like Fog of War in a board game.
Yeah,
and that I was reminded of that too, thinking about the exploration, like how we do that in a physical space.
Yeah,
is to kind of reveal what the space is as you travel through it. You know,
yeah,
like you're looking for something, and maybe the sort of efficiency of your approach could be like, you know, reading the thing, like what's likely to be over this way, over that way, if we have a board that is like revealed tiles. Maybe there are ways we can give the players clues that give them like how much of a chance, if I keep going this way, will I find what I'm looking for, even though it's the shorter path? Or maybe it's a better chance that I'll find what I'm going this way, but it'll take me longer or whatever.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting the picture of like a maze or something. Or maybe it's not a maze. Maybe you're just like thrown into a fog or something. Like a Fog of War sort of thing.
Yeah, it might not have to be like literal, like each tile or if you flip cards or whatever that represent 10 feet or something.
Yeah.
It could be more like zones, like moving from city to city or from block to block or from this the hill to the valley or whatever.
But what I'm thinking is like you would go through these tiles or what have you, and then when you go to a new one, you flip it over. And some of those objects you can take, and then you can use them and combine them with other objects or other things in the field to get more stuff of some form.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking too. Like the games that I was thinking of are the ones where you like have a grid of face down tiles. Ooh, I moved too far away from the mic. Face down tiles, and on each turn, like you flip a tile, and you can you move to that tile, or you can move a couple tiles away and flip that. And maybe what we do is you start by being only able to move a tile, and then as you go, you're gathering items that allow you to flip more tiles, so you're more efficiently moving through.
Oh, that's good.
And you can collect power ups, but it could be kind of like Arkanoid style, where you can only use one power up. So you can make some choices about like, oh, I can do 2 tiles on this turn, but if I pick up this one instead, I can break through a wall. But then I lose my ability to move 2, or maybe you can have up to 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
There could be some risk reward there, like, and if it's a multiplayer game, we could have it could be trying to reach a goal that everyone's going for, even though they don't know where it is. But I think we've all hit on the idea of like having a grid of like reversible, like revealable tiles.
Yeah.
It's a little obvious, but like it's really, there's a lot there that we can mine. So I'm up for that. Also, it's probably something we can produce quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. If we're thinking that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that plan. Do we have a deck of cards that are not the cards we used to make this game?
This is the prototyping kit I brought had a blank deck of cards, and I forgot it.
Well, I can run around and find a standard deck of cards.
Do it.
I'll do that.
Okay.
So
do it.
Whether we edit this part out of the episode depends on how interesting a conversation the two of you have while I'm gone. Go.
Okay. So that was so fast. It's like he knew exactly where the cards were.
That's Hanafuda. Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
So As I roll back to the mic, I grabbed a Hanafuda deck, which has lots of different types of cards. It's
Cool.
more suits and such, so we could use those as
And they're
tokens.
smaller.
I also grabbed a standard deck of cards, which are styled in Le Grand Roi de France, which is the Great Kings of France. Which if you know anything about the Kings of France, that's a bit of an exaggeration, I think. But that's my standard deck of cards here, with a couple of.
That is some hair. Whoa. That is a wig. Oh, that's Louis the 14th. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got Louis the 14th and Louis the 16th on either side of it, which is like, yeah, that's two Kings of France.
Well, I think we would more easily recognize the 52 cards, right?
Yes, I think so. I just in case we need more tokens.
I like using the Hanafuda, but I think that
Can I hold the box?
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Listeners who are wondering why this is so fun, Hanafuda cards are super cool. There's a game that's played called Koi Koi. It's a common game that Stephen, you, and Dale have been playing a lot recently.
Yeah.
In Tabletop Simulator.
Yes.
And I recently got imported for Dale the Club Nintendo themed Hanafuda deck. Because if people who know the history of Nintendo, that's what Nintendo made when they started as a company in 18 yada yada.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of always a fun, charming part of their history. So these very traditional Japanese art style, like the deck was replaced with like Mario and Luigi and stuff. It's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, listeners should check it out because Hanafuda decks are awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
You're going to put some cards down in a grid?
You confidently, as if you know what we're doing.
We don't.
Never
Put some cards down in a grid.
Just make it up as you go. It's fine.
So Stephen, you're laying out the standard deck of cards in a kind of grid.
I am indeed.
And we're going to kind of see what we get from that.
The game is a metaphor for the game design process.
I am reading your palms.
Tarot is not one of the things that we drew from the deck.
No.
Right. So it's a 4x4 grid, all face
just
down.
because of our space.
We don't have so much space. Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to grab a little meeple.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You guys want some meeples?
I'll take one.
Okay. Which color do you want?
I'd like a red one, please.
You want a red one? Okay. Oh yeah, look at that.
Surprise me.
Yay. Thank you.
I will have this rad black one. And you can have this cool green one.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I know. The unchosen colors were blue, yellow, and white.
Who needs them? Well, we might later, but
if our what if our character gets like eaten or blown up or something, and you grab another one? Like, okay, so anyway,
we're gonna put explosions in this game, Ellen. Is that?
I mean, is that a question?
Come on.
We've leaned into the sort of like obvious choice of we each have a character we play as.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with that, but we don't have to limit ourselves to that necessarily.
That's true.
So the way, so I don't know.
We could have NPCs that move in predictable patterns, and then we as players control something else, maybe.
So what I'm imagining the way this works is initially right away in the beginning, you start off on any of the outer edge of this grid.
Maybe you choose where you start from.
Yes, and you pick you land on that and you flip over the card. And I'm going to say that if the card is a suit, no, not a suit. What's the king
face card?
Yeah, face card.
Mm-hmm.
The card is a face card, then it's an item. If it's not a face card, then it's just an empty space.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to do this.
Ooh, wait, before we continue.
Uh-huh.
Are we competing against one another, or is this cooperative?
Oh, I wanted to compete.
Yeah, I feel like this. I think competition probably makes the most sense for now. I don't know if that'll be where we end up, but
I'm feeling that too. And the reason for me is that the game that is like mechanically similar to this game in my mind, at least, and I can't remember the name of, was cooperative. So I like the idea of it being competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So Steven has placed his meeple.
Yes.
And he's flipping that card.
It's a 6.
Oh, tough break for the early
November
player.
1630.
Oh, there's
King Facts
on there. King Facts. Cool.
Oh.
You are now subscribed to King Facts.
All right, so I'll move my meeple ahead of me, which is actually very close to where Steven is.
Oh.
Flipping my card.
Ooh.
I got
not a king.
It's a V, so this is a Cardinal de Richelieu. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but
I don't know French.
Chateau de Chantilly.
Sounds as
Philippe de
French
Champon.
as I would know.
I don't know, but I don't know if that. Well, how does that place in the stand? Like, is that the Jack or is it the Queen? It's probably the Jack. But it's the V of clubs.
Yes.
I thought I picked a normal deck, folks.
That's It's fine.
But it's a face card. It's all it counts.
Yeah.
So
it had a face on it.
So now, I mean, we don't really know what we're doing yet, but like now I have revealed that there's some object there, and it's the V of clubs, and so maybe that specifically means something. Although our maybe final deck would be more not balanced, just like a 52 card deck. But
Yeah.
let's just imagine.
Yes.
So, should we just keep going, or should we just say I have an item and just?
I think you should try to invent what the item does.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is my goal exactly? Right? Like,
We don't know.
Okay. So what item would be useful? So like
Efficiency.
like I mean, okay. So when we talk about like you can move twice, right? So maybe when you can move twice, but you can if you only reveal the one you end up at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So it makes it not super OP.
Sure.
Whatever power is in this game.
Wouldn't that make it? Being able to. Well, okay. That's fine.
There's a
That's
certain
fine. That's
logic. Like, okay, so am I revealing the fog of war as I pass through, or do I go somewhere and dig in the ground?
Yeah.
For the thing, look for the thing there, right? So there's a thematic metaphor here that will start to coalesce as we describe what these movements might feel like in our fiction.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the latter option. Wow, I'm just losing continuity today. I don't feel like you should move or reveal the cards that you move through. I feel like you should reveal the card that you land on.
okay. Yeah, I
Sounds
agree.
good.
I agree.
Because you're looking for objects, right?
Yeah.
And you have to look for objects you have to roll a perception check to look for objects.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're not just unless you have a really high perception score naturally.
Right. So maybe that's what the combination could be.
There we
Like
go.
maybe that's what this is that each item does something unique, but when you combine them, they do a third thing, and neither of the two original things.
Well, that might be hard to write, but you could have them do both things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, what do the two things combined mean? I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just work with that for now. That like combining two has a strategy to it. So one of them is everything you pass through is revealed. One of them is you can move 2 or 3. You know.
More than your current one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Which one did you pick up?
Let's just say I got the one that lets me move 2.
Sounds good.
2.
Yeah.
Instead of 1.
Cool.
And I don't know what benefit that is to me yet, but and now I have an item. So Ellen, why don't you give me a token that signifies an item, and we can do that for points for now. Maybe just now the game is to get the most face cards. It's not balanced, but let's just play it that way for now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then whichever color you give me will denote that particular style.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a gold one.
Ooh, thank you. Befitting the kings of France.
Well, now I just want to
Yes.
take it all away.
Those V's. I looked through it. There's like an R
Uh-huh.
in it. I think it was it a G?
So R would be king then.
Sure. I don't know French.
Wait, yeah. What does V stand for in French?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's an R. There's a D.
Vatican?
Mhm.
Because it's a cardinal.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Like, is it vicar? But like, no, that's kind of English.
At any rate, Ellen, it is your turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enter.
This is like an unintended wrinkle to this experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. That's the game jam, folks.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter.
You know, this is the Palace of Versailles. We're like roaming the gardens of the Palace of Versailles.
Yeah.
That's what this game is.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool idea.
Right?
Let's bank that. Okay, so I revealed a 3, and all I found in this room in the Palace of Versailles was like
Some
a
king
chamber
facts.
pot.
Some king facts.
Chamber pot might be useful.
Well, you got a 3.
I mean, chamber pot would be useful. You can go
Yeah.
on the move.
Yeah.
It helps with efficiency.
Yeah.
You know, it just occurred to me, sorry to interrupt, but it occurs to me the value of being able to move twice, which is as cards are revealed, all the cards around you might be revealed.
Right.
So, okay, it didn't occur to me that there'd be any value to it, but as you play, it would. And it could be strategic play. You could get in somebody's way to make their turn less valuable.
That's what I'm trying to do now, and I can't come up with a way to do it. So
Mhm.
I'm going to move here.
Mhm.
Okay, I have an idea. After you reveal that card, I have an idea.
Okay. Face card. It's a 2. That's even worse.
Okay.
I found not a chamber pot, but the stuff that goes into chamber pot.
Just a room full of poop. So I was the idea that I had was like the kind of built around it kind of works with the idea that you're exploring like a location, and that is like the game ends when you have explored the whole deck.
Yeah.
So after a person leaves a revealed room, you put a new card face down.
We want to do that?
Well, hold up a second, because that actually counters what we were talking about just now
Oh,
about strategically playing. Yeah. Maybe, but there should be a mechanism by which that happens.
Sure.
Maybe like once all of a certain type, and with our deck of cards, we're not going to be able to get that quite right. But you know what I mean? Like that I like that mechanism a lot that you work through.
Could be matching. Match through.
Yeah,
match
that
two.
could be if you match two.
If you match, or
Then-
there's some item you have or something.
then those get removed and replaced or something.
Yeah.
I just really want to hold on to the strategic
Yeah, yeah.
positioning
I agree.
because that gets our sort of approach.
Yeah.
Mechanic.
Well, okay. So I think the idea of having it as a random match of cards will be difficult because if you're pulling through a whole deck, the possibility exists that you just end up with not having any of those cards on
Right.
your table.
We're hamstrung
that's-
by the nature of the 52
That's why I
card
was
deck.
saying that if you there's an item that allows you to reshuffle the cards.
How do
land
you
on.
how do you make sure that item ends up on the dealt cards?
Yeah.
Well, if we were to design the card, there'd be any number of ways, but we can't do it now with our 52 card deck.
Yes.
Well,
But-
the reason I brought that up was so that I could suggest a different thing, which
oh,
is
okay. Yeah.
all four corners of the dealt grid are revealed
Oh,
because you could, if you're ahead
Uh-huh.
of the game, you could find it advantageous to then cycle all the flipped cards. You know, if you've got an item and other people don't,
Mhm.
or something like that, it
Yeah.
might be. It's within like the players decide when it happens, but like when it happens might be more advantageous to one player than another, and I think it could lean into the competitiveness.
I think I missed the trigger. So when you're saying when the four corners of the 16 cards are revealed, then all the ones that have been revealed get shuffled in?
Yeah,
Oh!
get cycled. So like
cool. Okay.
I did this corner one, but none of the other corners have been revealed.
Yeah.
And so like we have a lot of time before the other ones are revealed. Well, maybe not that much time, but like you could get here in a couple turns. I could get here in a couple turns. Steven could get there in a couple turns. And
It's also useful for Steven, who's gone 2 turns without finding anything,
Yeah.
to want to trigger that sooner rather than later.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good.
Yeah, let's work with that
Okay.
for now. Yeah,
We
so
can- we can try it.
I still get to block Steven as I was planning to do this turn.
Right.
But we can we don't but we can get this reset method working. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move my character 2 forward from my position, which is now sitting in front of Steven,
But why?
and leave Steven with only one free or unrevealed card next to him.
But why?
Why?
Oh, come on.
Ooh, I got
another V.
the V of
How am I
hearts.
already upset about this game that's not even finished yet? And I'm already
Cardinal
losing.
Mazarin.
I feel like we're on the right track then.
Yeah.
Not because you're frustrated, but because you're having feelings about it, you know?
Yeah,
What I
that's
like
true.
about when we do these game jams, and this is a benefit to the listener as well, is that thank you. I have another. Oh, did you give me the same
Well,
power? Because it's the V,
It's
right?
another V.
Oh, there you
So
go.
I was
So-
thinking maybe the synergy comes from when you get like 3 of a kind or something. You get 2 of a
Yeah,
kind.
or like maybe now that I got 2 of the same type, which is a weird coincidence, I can now move 3
That's cool with me. Makes sense.
if I want to. Although
Yeah.
there's very few opportunities to move 3. But whatever. But I was going to say one of the benefits of these game jams, and I hope listeners appreciate it, is that we don't, like the strategy, the meta, none of this is figured out yet. But Steven is already competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And already feels the game. And I think
Yeah.
that's a really valuable tool because I am never like that. I'm always very much like, I don't see why this matters yet.
You say that, but then you block me. So
Well, I'm working with the
Zing.
knowledge.
I know.
I mean, I'm not proud of it. But
I should have seen that coming and moved in a different direction.
yeah.
It was a good move.
Anyway, it's respect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I got my second token of the same type because I just happened to get another V. And Ellen, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm staying away from whatever mess is happening on this side of the table.
Yeah, you're gonna get blocked next.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I'm going this way.
Oh.
So I only can move one. I haven't had any items yet. Oh, but I just uncovered a
Heck.
D,
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
which is
Is that
Marie
Duke? I don't know.
Leskinsk. That's not French.
Mhm.
Leskinsk. Yeah.
Sure.
Leskin. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I took French in high school and college, so this whole episode is going to be me telling on myself.
Fair enough. Lesinski.
All right. What does that do? That
So
is a
D must
new
be the
item.
queen then in the
Mm,
parlance
ska.
of this,
Oh, sure.
this deck.
Well, I'm going to look that up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a face card. I'm already starting to think that there might be too many face cards in a normal deck, more than we would want items or something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or
Well, that's a balance problem. We can
Yeah,
we
we
can
can-
get there when we get there.
Yep.
it maybe you need like 2 of a kind in order to get the benefit or something like that. You have to assemble parts or something.
Yes,
like that.
yes. I like that. Yeah.
Like once you've assembled the 3 V parts, then you can move extra.
Right.
Or once you've assembled the 3 D parts, then you can peek.
But on the other hand, if we have this reset mechanic, then the game moves a little quicker and it might be okay. And maybe the tables can turn a lot. So I have 2 power-ups and both of you have none. But like maybe once we flip
I've
things
got
over.
one.
Oh, you
I
got
just
one.
got
You just
one.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
I'm going to give myself a silver one.
Okay.
Nice.
When things get reset, maybe everything gets reset, or you know what I mean. Like there could be a
Yeah.
So there could be more left to chance, but more opportunities at chance, so that it's not the balance will.
Yeah.
I just like it. It makes every move a little more interesting if something can happen.
Yeah.
Right. But
I gotta come up with power.
exactly.
yes. What is your power?
Well, I thought of 2 ones that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
3 actually.
Mhm.
2 of which are pretty OP, so there might be ones where I have to like assemble 3 or something. One of them would be like take a peek at the next one of the cards near you and put it face
sure.
down again.
Okay.
So giving myself some knowledge.
Uh-huh.
Another one that occurred to me was like moving someone to a revealed tile, right?
Oh, I see.
So
I liked the peak one. I think that's cool.
yeah,
I don't fully understand the strategic implication, but I feel like that's a great mechanic for when we find a reason to use it.
yeah.
So maybe what it can be is you can peek. Right? How do you make that? Like you peek all the ones around you, or you peek a direction and then
I think just
go
one.
there or go another direction.
Hey, because the thing is, like, if it's efficiency, right? I've got 1, I peek 1. If I get 2, I can peek 2.
Yes.
The third idea that occurred to me as a power was like the ability to move diagonally.
Oh, sure. I guess we didn't make we didn't even answer whether that was possible.
Yeah.
We didn't. We just kind of
We assumed it wasn't, right?
Started playing and didn't move diagonally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I think is fine.
I think we should be able to move diagonally.
Well,
I don't
Because I'm locked into place.
yeah. Steven's emotion tied up in the game, so we can't trust his design choices right now. Ellen, I think peeking works. I think you before you move, you can peek in any direction, and then you can go in that direction or not when you make your move.
That's so powerful. I'm fine with that.
I like
I'm just
it,
saying
yeah.
it's powerful.
I mean, the other thing we could explore is like the idea that some of these have charges. You know.
Mhm.
Oh, potentially. I mean, let's just play it.
Yeah, let's just play it.
Play it out. That's
Okay,
fine.
so I have this item. I think it's going to let me peek at 1 card.
Yes.
In our cardinal directions.
Yeah.
That's a pun on multiple levels now. So it wouldn't let me peek diagonally, but because I can't move diagonally right now, that would not.
Right.
really-
You could peek in any valid move that you could make.
Yeah, I can peek at the next move. It does. Yeah, I can still only move 1 card at a time, and it lets me peek at that card at 1 card before I make my move.
Right. And I think it works really well because it becomes the Monty Hall problem, right? Like
Mhm.
you can, even though you're peeking randomly, so it's not right now anyway, there's no motivation as to which one you would peek. But it doesn't matter which one you peek because then now it gives you that information to go there or somewhere else.
Mhm.
So it's a solution to the Monty Hall problem. So
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Cool.
But you just collected it, so you don't get to use it till the next turn.
Right.
Steven, it's your turn. Now, Steven, you can move to a spot
Yeah,
that isn't already revealed.
Not doing that.
Okay. Can you share a space with me? Is the question.
Oh, I assumed you could, but why? Why
Whoever
would I
gets
do
there.
that?
Well,
I have
because
this item.
because my next move is going to be to block you again, and where then you'll have no value.
Why would you do that?
I don't think there's any reason not to be able to occupy the same space.
I don't think so either. I think it'd be perfectly fair.
But
You see, if you know that if you go to the viewers or listeners can't see, but Steven's moving to the other corner of the thing,
Corners.
and so if I would my next turn, he can anticipate that I will move to not block him, but may reveal all the cards around him, which means his next move will get him nothing. Or he could move to the position I'm at now, in which case, no matter where I go, he has a couple of options to reveal next time.
So either I get to do nothing this turn or nothing next turn.
Right, but okay, go ahead.
I'd rather get something now.
All right.
And also I'm revealing a
What
corner.
Steven doesn't know.
Oh
is
my
that-
god! It's a 10!
Oh, not
It
quite
doesn't count.
not quite a face card. All right. Now, so then I will now move to make that
Yeah, watch it be an item. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Not an item.
At least it wasn't an item.
good.
finally some proper luck for me.
Steven, can you? Thank you. Oh my gosh, that 10 was so crooked.
Yeah,
Mark.
Yep. There'll be a proper grid when we, fully release the game.
There's only 16 cards. It's a very small grid. I definitely imagined way more, but I kind of like it at this size.
I think it should be. I think small is good because
Yeah.
I think then it lets you have a big stack of cards that you get to replace, and
Yes.
that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more fun if they're more like tiles rather than cards.
Yes, I think
'Cause
so. Yeah.
Tiles have a nice little snap when you put them on the table.
Never mind. Think about balance and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Also, I'm losing, so it doesn't make it.
So that's why you're thinking about
I
balance.
mean, I don't know. Maybe none of us have points yet. So
I mean,
Whoever.
it's pretty apparent to me who's winning.
ooh, so there's a lot of meta to Ellen's now peeking, or she picked the one to peek.
I
already
peeked at
peeked.
1. Yeah, I can only peek at 1.
But what's great is that where Ellen moves is going to mean something to us, because if Ellen, because we know, like presumably we would know what powers are available in the game,
Right.
And so when you don't pick that, it's like either there's nothing there or it's something you don't need.
Yeah.
But we're not going to know for certain why you didn't pick it. So
Right.
we get a little information from your next move.
But just a tantalizing a bit because you
Yeah.
don't actually you get information, but you don't really know what
Right.
it means.
But if all we got was whether it's a power up or not, then it's basically like we all got to peek.
Yeah.
But you get more information than us.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
good.
I am going to move here because
It's another peek
it's
card.
another D, which I'm assuming this is D's are queens.
I mean, I assume so too, but that's not the translation for queen in
Oh,
French. But
and
it seems to be
the
the case.
triche.
Yeah.
The triche.
Oh, you're making me doing it?
Yeah.
And Dutriche. Yeah, I think so.
Whatever she was doing it from 1601 to 1666.
Well, everything she was doing during that time, I suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Everything she did it during those years.
Okay. I'm gonna move.
I'm
here.
getting wait, we have to figure out what this means. Does this mean I get to look at two cards?
It
Yeah,
does. It
I
means
think so.
because it's another the same. You get to look at two cards now.
I think that's a good way to do it.
All right. So Steven, rather than moving to where I was, he's now moving back to where he was last turn.
Yep.
So now, what I'm going to do.
I'm already blocked. No problem.
So I have an option here. So again, listeners can't see the board, but basically I can make a choice where I can move to another card to make another reveal for myself, or I can move along with Steven so that because Steven's still 2 turns away from a reveal, he has to move twice.
Yes.
I can get there before he does.
Yep.
So I can make an aggressive move there, or I could just let Steven live his life and.
We all know
Keep
that's
going.
not going to happen.
Now, I don't know what my motivations are. Like
Sure.
I'm not sure either.
I have my
Pick on Steven, apparently.
yeah.
Ellen, you got to push your piece back on that. You're on that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So Steven, I could move to this card here, this unrevealed card,
You could.
but it's not better because then you can move there, and it's
Yes.
diagonal to me, so I wouldn't be able to stop you.
Right.
But if I move here, then you're still 2 turns away, so it's not actually any better necessarily. Yeah. So the question is, am I more motivated? Like, am I happy with what I have? Because I don't really know the value of it.
The interesting thing I will comment on here,
Yeah.
from the design perspective, because I wouldn't say this as a player because we're tied, but from a designing perspective, right now you're just focused on denying Steven. I'm tied with you. You should be coming after me.
I suppose.
Yes. Gosh.
I'm. This is the third corner to be revealed. I am 1 move away from it.
Right.
Like, we're gonna lose potential. There's
Do all of the cards get reshuffled?
just the ones that have been revealed. Good point. Good point. That's right.
So if
But what if? No, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So if I were to go to this space here, which is the closest revealed card to Steven, then it wouldn't get him any slower. But if you moved to the one next to it, that would actually make it difficult for me to get something next turn. So I will move just 1 space towards Ellen instead of towards Steven.
Thank goodness.
And I will reveal, and it's a bupkis.
It's a 9 of
Mhm.
clubs.
Now, Steven,
Means
remember,
nothing.
I was making it very clear that if I had moved, you're still 2 turns away.
I know.
I couldn't find a way to further harm you, which is why I didn't try.
Oh, so nice.
I'm telling you, I would have if I could have. Because that's been a rewarding avenue of gameplay for me so far.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, listeners.
Yes.
Mark is like, oh, I'm not competitive. I don't really like winning. But then when Steven's playing a game, he gets real competitive real quick.
I need to teach you that it's not important.
It never works. I get mad every time.
Yeah.
Is it my turn or
I will say
think
when I do
Ellen's turn.
prototype games like this, or when I play test other people's games,
Yeah.
I role play like what is the most aggressive, competitive.
That's good.
I sort of can't help that because I want to like explore the boundaries of this thing, and this thing has very narrow boundaries right now. So.
All the cool game devs are on Twitter.
I heard that.
We're also on Twitter. I don't know if we're cool.
Yeah, all the cool game devs and us.
All the cool game devs are on Twitter, and we're there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we're there because we want to hang out with peeps, and you're one of them. Wow, I just said peeps. It's a clear indicator that I'm not cool. But you can talk to me on Twitter anyway, and it would actually probably be really fun. I'm not particularly active on my Twitter. Sometimes I tweet pictures of my dog. Sometimes I tweet quotes from Mark. Sometimes I retweet things that are fun. I might be tweeting a poll about what game I should play next in the next few weeks after I finish the one that I'm currently on. But you know who is really, really active on Twitter? It's Dale. Dale is active on Twitter. And she tweets lots of cool stuff from the Nice Games Club account. So if you're bored with the crickets that are on my Twitter account, thanks for visiting anyway. And you should go check out Nice Games Club.
Yeah, Dale scours the internet for fun game dev stuff, like memes and fun little things that you might have missed. Also stuff about the show. Yeah. But not only that, when you follow Nice Games Club, you become a little closer to the Nice Games Club family. Mm-hmm. And like Dale is gonna, see your stuff. And so it's a way to sort of engage. And if you've got something cool, send it our way, and Dale will likely retweet it for you.
Yeah.
Because we do like to see what our listeners are making and just what everybody out there is putting together. And so that's for that reason alone, you should follow us on Twitter. But there's plenty of other reasons, of course. Show news. Dale is also really into cats, so you'll get a lot of that content. And if you hear at the end of the show, we always mention an example, and they always seem so outlandish, but every one of them is worth checking out.
Yeah.
This one conveniently has to do with cats. So.
Yeah.
It's not all cats, right? Dale also looks into like game industry news, and she tweets out some game dev resources and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's social media, like connect and share stuff. We want to see your stuff and share your stuff, and yeah, it'll help us feel like we're cool.
Yeah. We've dragged this middle portion of the show on long enough, but there's one more point I want to make, which is, recently we had Holly Harrison on the show talking about sort of ethical consumption and ethical game dev. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we like to do through our Twitter account is express like how we feel the industry should work, and cite examples of things that we find positive. And so, that's not a pitch to follow us. That's maybe an example that we like to set, and hopefully you will agree and follow, is just to highlight some of the best stuff and not just the most, attention-grabbing stuff, the most high-profile stuff, the most popular stuff, the stuff that fits the philosophy here at Nice Games Club. So if you want to get to know us a little bit better and what we think about things you don't hear us talk about on the show, part of that expression comes through on our Twitter account. So it's a good way to get to know us a little bit better, because Dale is a good mouthpiece for this program.
Yes, you can follow us at Nice Games.
Oh, now they need to see my birth certificate. Honey, where do we keep the birth certificates?
Why?
Buying socks?
Socks. I'll check upstairs.
It's easy to be unsafe online.
You're the best!
Now it's easy to help protect yourself. Norton 360 with LifeLock gives you device security, a VPN for online privacy, and identity theft protection, all in one. Opt in to cyber safety. Save 25% or more off your first year at norton.com/news.
How does Crazy Taxi stack up against, say, Papers, Please? And what's the one 3DO FMV game that gives Mario Party a run for its money? Find out on Hardcore Gaming 101's Top Games, where we objectively, definitively, and scientifically rank the games you nominate for our ever-growing list. HG 101's Top Games, twice a week, every week, right here on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Hey Chris, what's the War Rocket Ajax podcast about?
Well, Matt, if we were smart, it'd be about murders, but it's actually about comics.
War Rocket Ajax. It's not about murders, but it is weekly on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
I do enjoy how simple the choices are. Just pick a direction and move. I suppose your abilities.
Yeah, it really leans into the sort of abstract strategy of it. Like it's just you have like one choice, but there's a lot to your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like that a lot. It is Ellen's turn.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to I can look at two cards
You
now.
can peek twice, and there are two open cards near you.
It's an advantageous thing to do.
Yeah. I know to look at Ellen's face, to read her, to see.
I'm going to move to this third corner card.
Okay.
And this third corner card is an R. We have not had an R yet.
Wow.
Okay, what does this mean?
It's Louis XIV with the big wig and the nice block heel. Yeah, it's a long time. Heels were a male fashion item, not for women, and we took that shit because it's awesome. I forgot not to swear. Okay, we haven't had an R yet, so we have to decide what an R does.
Well, weirdly, in our playtest here, Ellen, you have two of the same, and I have two of the same, but they're different. Mm-hmm. Whereas that's not a very good, sort of an inefficient, to use a phrase, use of our testing, because we want to combine these. So now that we have the opportunity for a third one, let's think about the 2 we've created already and how this third one might fit with those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Initially, I was thinking like, oh, what if, what if you? Okay, so here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I could totally see like there's like a manual of color combinations or something, and the different color combinations you have in groups of 3 result in different things. And so, like, if you get 3 silvers, that means you look at 3 cards. Okay, that's simple. But if you get 2 silvers and a red, then that means something else.
That's what I was saying earlier.
That is.
Yeah.
And you were both saying it was complicated.
It is complicated, but we're on this path now, I guess.
Well, and now it's more justified now. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking as many steps ahead as you were, Mark.
Weren't recklessly thinking that far.
I guess. Well, I think the other thing too is like how to think about the different color combinations. Like that grid could get really big, really fast.
Yeah, this could be like we're building I mean, we ultimately don't want to be using a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Although honestly, we could make this a game you could play with a deck of cards and like pretzel pieces or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that could be our goal, and so we could constrain ourselves that way. I'm not sure that I want to, but that's an option. In which case we have 4 suits, 3 face cards, if ace, if 4 if you can, and so that could be our design constraints, and then that could help us decide how many is too many of or whatever, blah blah blah. But aside from that, we could also make it like you're saying a combination like 3. It could be a building a hand, right, or building sets. Then when you as you refresh the cards, you keep playing until you get certain numbers of sets.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. There's a lot of ways we could do it. The thing that
but that kind of implies the 52 card thing, and I want to make sure we're not totally nailed to it if we don't want it.
Well, I like the idea of having for me the thing that my brain is glomming onto, that is now a loaded term. The thing that my brain is latching onto is the cards are the space and the tokens are the items.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can build essentially hands of items.
Right.
And the different combinations of colors of hands of item tokens will result in your items doing different, more complicated things.
Mm-hmm.
But they could also do, like, it could be if you end up with 2 silvers and a red, that is a broken item and it just dies.
Right. There's things you don't want for a reason.
Right.
And the theming of that could be about like if it's a game where you're running around the garden, maybe these are face cards, but maybe just for inspiration of that, maybe you find people hiding, which would also explain why when you refresh them, they move around. And maybe then you take them along with you. But you can't have James and Alice together because they don't get along.
Yeah.
Or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Or like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But when I was thinking of that, like if the red one combined with 2 silvers would become like a defunct object, it also led me to the question, like, do I have to pick up the item if I reveal one?
I would say yes. Yeah. Just in terms of simplicity. I think that then there's fewer choices you have to make, which reduces the complexity of
I say yes space. Because if you make a mistake, then I can catch up.
Yeah, right.
Well, the alternative is I don't have to pick up the item and it just stays here revealed and you guys can rush to get it.
Oh, I suppose that's
well, true. I think that it provides value to the peeking in this sense, because if you peek and you know it's something that you don't want or that would hurt you, then you stay away from it. And then that gives us the information to make another guess as to what might be under that.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas if you don't have to, then there's really no information about it.
Now it makes me feel like we're a bunch of elementary school students who've been told to go pick up the playground. and we're just finding junk.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of a cool theme.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got this red one. And I would say, just for the heck of it, just to play out this idea a little bit more.
Yes.
Let's say that red one combined with 2 silver breaks my item or gets rid of the room. You can't move through it.
Oh,
like knocks off that space.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what red. Maybe what you can do with red is you can leave the token behind, and that room is off limits until it gets cycled.
Can we decide what the power is on its own first?
That's what I think. That's what Ellen is.
That's what you mean. Is that?
Yeah. Either.
Oh, it's not in combination with.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe okay. So let's.
I mean, because a diagonal's sitting in front of us.
That's true.
Maybe how about this? Maybe it's because we don't necessarily want to maintain a complicated chart of all the possible combinations. Maybe it could be one of because we have 3 types now. Maybe ace is a 4th type. Maybe it's special. Maybe it's not a face card in our consideration.
Yeah.
1 of each does something. 3 of a kind does something. 2 and 1 does something else. then it's easy to remember, right? So if you once you get 3, something triggers.
Mhm.
And what triggers depends on what combination of 3 you have.
Maybe
3 of the same type, 2 of one and one another, or 1 of all 3.
Yeah.
Then
Maybe one of all 3 is the victory condition.
Yeah, that's really good.
I don't know.
Well, didn't we talk about the end game state being you get through the whole deck,
Yeah.
Oh, is that the end game stage?
Okay.
but not necessarily victory?
Once you
Okay.
get 3,
Yeah.
Okay.
you get like a point. You bank a point.
Yeah.
But you lose all your powers.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
That stack of 3 turns into a victory point.
Yes.
And then you can keep playing.
Okay.
If you the 3 combinations, 1 of each, 2 of one other, or
Yep.
all 3 of a kind.
Yep.
One of those should be wipe the board, right? And that would happen earlier than uncovering all of them. Like when you uncover all of them, then the board is wiped.
Okay.
And then one of them can be, well, I don't know what the other two would be. The only thing I think about is that one of those combinations would be like preemptively wiping the board.
Yeah, I think lots of ideas were introduced in the last 60 seconds, and I'm not processing them all.
Okay.
So let's play more.
Okay. So the king gives you diagonal.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Let's say that, king, which is going to be red.
Right.
'Cause
But you now
R-
do have 3, so we can, if that's what we want to do, 3 gives you some combination, or something happens when you get 3.
Yeah, that's interesting. See, I thought our initial win condition was just like get as many of these little doodads as you could.
Yeah.
But then you become so powerful when you have more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There needs to be some kind of way to reset your power.
But also it means that like, Steven doesn't have any points, but like you don't have any points either or you just have 1 point and I don't have any, right? So I'm not actually like Steven, I'm not actually that far ahead of Steven. I have 2 powers. I'm likely to find that 3rd one, but just by nature of luck, Steven might catch up to get 3 before I do.
Let's do that. So let's say you get 3 dots, and then you can bank that. You lose your powers.
Mhm.
Like if I kept these, I would have 2 powers.
Yeah.
Right. But I also don't have any points. And
Oh, but you don't have to bank them.
right.
And then what happens is instead of 3 of a kind, 1 of each, only one of those conditions matters. So once you get 1 of each, then something happens. But you can collect as many as you want until you get 1 of each.
I mean, yes, unless we don't want to do it that way. I'm not sure I'm following every step that you're taking.
Gonna
Like,
move this.
I'm like sort of, if you can just collect as many powers as you want, or you can bank them, why would you ever bank them until the end of the game?
maybe because it takes your turn to bank it.
Right, and if you don't do it before, but then you're kind of just
Why don't you just, if you get 3 of them, you're automatically banking them, right?
Well,
Or
that's
automatically getting points.
That's what we were saying, but Ellen was proposing maybe that's a choice you make. You can keep your powers or you can bank. And I was thinking that ties kind of into what I was saying about how the combinations, we don't have to come up with 3 different things that happen. Let's just come up with one thing that happens, some big thing that happens, if any player gets 1 of each.
Yes.
But so the idea was you would want to bank to avoid that from happening. But then you don't bank because you get to keep your powers, but it's risky because then the next move you make might give you.
Well, not if you can peek.
Well, maybe if but if it's the only valid move you can make, perhaps.
Well,
but that's not. You can go through. It's not fully sound yet.
It's not, and that's the thing.
That's okay. That's what we're doing.
I think we got to pick something and then just.
All I know is I'm going to move here because I've only got one thing I want to do.
Right.
Because that's the only thing I could be.
You want to go to that corner?
Yeah.
Because we're playing with that still.
Yes.
That the corners will reset everything.
Please don't remove that from me.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Yeah. That's you're personally motivated for that to be the rule.
Uh-huh.
I understand. All right. I'm going to move 2 spaces.
Okay.
To a unrevealed card, and it is an
ace.
1.
You have got.
It's an ace. Yeah.
Me.
Which we've decided isn't a thing.
Well, we were going to guess that it's not a thing, but yeah, let's say it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I mean, or I can have it on power if you want.
I don't want you to have more power. No, actually, if we were to make it so that you can only have 3 and it would make you have a point, then you would have no point. Then you have no powers, which I would prefer.
Yeah,
but
there's some unanswered things here, but we're operating under the
fine.
assumption
Yeah,
that
we'll just say
when you
that-
have 3, you don't have to bank it.
Yeah.
But you can,
I'm thinking that when you have 3, you don't have to bank it, but you can.
and you lose a turn for it.
Well, maybe not. But what I was going to, maybe
Okay,
they'll lose a turn.
sure,
I'm not sure if we need to do lose a turn
Yeah.
bank, but the thing I was going to bring up next is maybe a deciding factor in whether we want to do that. And that is when you get a 4th one, you have to bank 3.
Oh, you can't have more than.
I mean, that is kind of what I was saying, but there's no risk reward to it, right? I like that. I'm trying to plug the holes of like, if you don't have to bank it, why would you choose not to?
Mhm.
And it might be because you, but why is it a good idea to choose to do it? And if it's because when you get 4, you have to, then the correct choice is to never bank it. Always
right, because it was always going to be right. So I don't know. The more that we talk about it, the more I'm thinking that the thing we should test is it takes a turn to bank your 3, and you have to bank in order to get victory points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Either way, I'm making the same decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think we've been doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And I want to get to playing to see actually how that stuff plans
No,
out.
I know. And what I'm doing is when we come up with an idea, I'm like, I don't want to test that idea because it's a fourth of an idea. We won't learn anything from it. I want to test that idea with something.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my motivation that's why I'm trying to find the second half to that.
And I have the exact opposite instinct, which is like, it's a fourth of an idea, and it will become a whole idea after we play it. So play faster and test it faster.
I just want to win.
Yep.
So
right,
Ellen, take your turn so I
turn.
can not win.
Now, Steven's going to reset the board, and there's only one card, unrevealed card you can go to, and you were able to peek it. So now your choice is whether you want it or not, assuming it's a face card. And that's going to depend on what would happen if you get your fourth one, or would it be, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's some things you don't know yet, but, you can pretend that there's a motivation.
Right. So right. My assumption is Steven is going to hit the corner next, the last corner that's unrevealed. And when he does that, then it's going to trigger the board cycling.
Yeah.
And I have the choice between going to one of the 2 cards that I can reveal. I revealed one card. And I reveal the second card. So one of those is within my
Wait
reach.
a second.
How'd you
That
reveal that
second one
card?
you looked at is not a
Not
valid
next to
move.
you.
Oh, no, you're totally right. I can't because it's not adjacent to me. I'm sorry.
We caught her. We caught her cheating, Steven.
Yeah, in the game we didn't finish.
Yeah, I know.
The game we haven't written the rules on.
Right.
That is, in fact, the reason I went to the space I did.
Yeah.
So that you would not be able to peek at it.
So I forgot what that was. So I can go here, or I can use my diagonal and just go bother Mark, which I'm going to do.
Cool. Hey, what's up?
Yep.
We're hanging out here in this ace.
I use my...
All right, you got diagonal.
Yeah, I use my diagonal power.
Eh.
All right. What does that one say, Steven?
Flip it.
Oh my.
Oh, no powers for Steven.
Steven's really unlucky this round.
Yeah. Okay, so Steven has reached the last of the 4 corners.
Yes.
And so what we're going to do now is all the revealed cards of the 4x4, we're going to take off the board. The ones that we have not yet revealed, we're going to leave in exactly the place they were at, except the one Ellen peeked at. We're going to cycle that one out.
Oh, yeah.
But just pretend that's the same card. And then we'll
You
replace...
could shuffle it back in, actually. Shuffle it back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll replace all of the cards that we've done. And we all remain on the same spot.
Yeah.
And maybe it's revealed right away.
What's revealed right away?
Like the ones we're standing on.
I disagree with that. I think you need to take 2 turns
I think-
to get that revealed.
I think that I agree with Steven.
Okay. It feels thematically weird, but okay, we'll go with that.
Or you just don't, or you don't cycle the ones that you're on.
Oh, the ones you're standing on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be okay.
Well, I already did that.
That's
though,
okay.
so-
Yeah.
You gotta
so-
cycle these
I can't
4.
reach those.
Okay. If you hand me those 4 to place, I promise I won't look at them.
Actually, I do like the idea of the ones you don't replace the ones you're standing on, because it, like, visually, it looks strange that everything is completely wiped out. You know?
Yeah.
And that would also give you a reason for you to go to the space I was at, so more cards could get cycled.
Yeah. I think the next time we cycle it, we should do that.
Sure.
The ones
It's
that...
not too late to do it now if we like that idea.
No, it's too late. We put them all back in there.
Well, I mean, we could just.
Well, we
play
know
some
what they
with-
are.
It's fine.
I already forgot.
We'll just. Yeah. We'll
Oh, wait, no, that was an ace. And that was a 2.
Yes. They were both nothing essentially. So
Right.
They could just be
yeah,
whatever.
So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So let's do that, because I think that would
Okay.
because it also solves the problem of like
They don't have to be.
then we don't have to worry about using
it.
a turn to reveal the card you're standing on. It simplifies it. You know?
I would rather people have to use a turn to reveal the card.
Shuffle that
To be
back in.
honest, but
Shuffle that back in.
that's because I'm behind.
Well, in my original plan was that it's automatically revealed, which means you would have a shot at a thing.
Oh, but then everybody has a shot at the
Oh, and Steven doesn't want that.
No, I don't.
He doesn't want even.
Yeah,
he
but
wants to,
I mean, but in that same logic, if you two are on the same card, who gets the card that you reveal?
maybe that would be
Yeah.
nobody in
Yeah.
that case. But I prefer this, where it's just those cards don't get cycled.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, I went. That was my turn.
All right, you went, so now it is my
Yeah,
turn.
it's your turn.
And so we retain our same abilities as we go. So I am going to move here, which is right next to Steve. Just gives him
Deja
one-
vu.
Yeah,
Why?
it doesn't do much to you. You still have spaces.
Just
to go.
remember who your friends are, Steve.
Well, part of
Ellen.
this is I'm demonstrating some arbitrary. Like, where else would I go? Like what else? There's no. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I guess
there's no
matter
other.
much.
There's no other interesting.
It's a
move I can
small
make.
garden.
Well,
Yeah.
you could have denied Ellen, who has more points.
I could not have.
Well, you
because she can go to any of the 8 cards around.
Yeah,
so I would just take one of those options from her, and because I can't
suppose.
peek, wouldn't matter to me.
Okay, well, I'm not going next.
It's Ellen's turn.
Yes.
Ellen has 2 peek abilities and can go diagonally.
Oh my goodness!
I uncovered a V, which gives me a gold token.
Ellen now has 1 of each, and if that had anything to happen, this is when it would happen. But we're not playing with that yet. So,
okay, I know that we are limited in time, but we should make it so that almost every card gives you something. Because it's like, this is like playing...
Steven's like, I didn't get anything yet.
I haven't gotten any... Okay, but no, seriously though, this is like playing Star Trek Ascendancy and all of the planets, almost all the planets do nothing for you.
Yeah. Well, this is why I want the refreshing should happen frequently. Like,
sure. Well, that's why, it needs the 4 corners thing.
Well, I was thinking that it'd be all the cards unless you have 1 of each that would trigger a refresh or something.
I suppose, but the players who have powers are going to be able to trigger refreshes more frequently and more intentionally than the player who does not have it.
How about then, when the board is reset, you have to bank everything you've got. So in my case, I would, because let's say you need 3 tokens of any kind for a point.
Yeah.
Then I would bank my 2 here, and I would have nothing. And so Stephen, we'd each have 0.
Okay.
Ellen, who had 4, would get 1 point.
Sure.
And then the next round would begin with no powers.
I'm not really seeing efficiency then, but
yeah, I agree with that. But I think, to address Steven's concern about like staying far behind, it'd be a case of like trying to engineer a situation where Steven doesn't feel like he's actually losing to me in this specific scenario.
Or at least it feels like he can come back.
it's a tough thing because I think partly because we were talking so much and not playing as much.
Being scolded a little bit.
It is a podcast, so I
Yeah.
understand. But like Steven is spending a lot of time in this state.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so
more than he would in
a regular game.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I just went.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and reveal a thing. It's going to be numbers. Wow, I'm shocked. It's numbers.
Yeah. All right, I will move as well.
Let's change the aces to be power cards. You get to choose which one.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Not retroactively applied, of course.
No.
No, because you revealed that.
I will go to this corner.
Oh my goodness.
I got an ace. Cool.
I'm feeling your feels now, Steven.
Ow, you're in the lead.
I'm still feeling it because that just happened.
Yeah.
It's like, here's this new idea. We should have this be a power card.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark revealed the power card. Surprise.
I've been working really hard to make me not be beating Steven.
No,
now it's too late now.
You've been working really hard to also beat me.
Technically, you're not beating Steven because you don't have any victory points.
That's true. I'll take a peak power, whichever.
Silver.
Thank you. Ellen, you're up.
I'm going to bank.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep, I've got a bank 3, and I'm going to keep my silver peak power. So I'm going to put that over here, and I'm going to use, what are these cards called again?
Hanafuda cards.
They're just Hanafuda. I think the literal translation is playing cards.
Okay, sure. Hanafuda. I'm getting a Hanafuda, and that is going to...
Right, it's like an ATM machine.
Yeah.
It's like,
symbolize
it's okay.
Yeah.
1 victory point.
Okay.
So, and that's my turn, because I took a turn to bank.
Right. Yeah, and I'm consumed with why you would do that now instead of later, but...
And that's why, one of the reasons why I think there should be something out there that wipes people's powers.
Yeah.
Or lets people steal objects.
Yeah. Maybe the ace is just you lose a power.
Yeah.
Not retroactively.
Dang it.
But it's pretty rare, so it has to be a bigger risk than that.
Yeah.
Or maybe ace is you take someone else's. Maybe we don't have to figure, but there should be something like that.
Ace, you can take someone else's.
Sure. I moved and I got a 3.
Okay. I will move, and I'm going to go to the other corner. And so now all 4 corners are revealed.
Oh, you could peek,
Oh, well, whatever.
I mean, it's too late now, but...
I forgot, so...
Yeah.
No, I'm doing this to demonstrate the limits of this. Like,
sure.
Now we replace them, but not much has changed, really. But we will replace the cards that were not standing.
Oh, those are the 4 corners. You're right. My bad.
Yeah,
I did not even recognize what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, what is kind of interesting is that Ellen and I are standing on 2 corners, which means that we're already pretty close to replacing them again. So maybe the goal here is that this is just a way to cycle through cards faster.
Yeah. I mean, the end of the game is when you get through the whole deck.
Yeah, so that's the motivation to go for that. That's what I'm testing here. Is like, why might someone do this on purpose?
Well, if you were in the lead, it would make sense. It doesn't. I mean, you could bank right now, and then you'd be tied. But
no, it's too late. I made a move.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm not trying to play optimally at this point. I'm just trying to like
test it out. Yeah, you're finding the edges of the garden or what's playground that we're cleaning up or something.
Yeah.
If you don't bank the card, if you don't bank your points,
like once the game is over,
then you don't get points for those.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you want to do it a little bit.
So as you collect a bunch of these, or as Ellen does, rather, we won't. Then you bank them because you have more than you need, or toward the end of the game, you panic and you bank the ones you should have banked earlier.
I feel like there should be you can only bank like one per turn. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right, so you can only bank one set of 3.
So you have to just be like, you can't have too many because you know it will take you 3 turns to bank them all.
Yeah.
And you don't know if there's 3 turns left in the game or something, right? Or you don't know when 3.
Yeah, well, you're looking at the deck of cards and you're going, oh my God.
And if you got a peak or you have 2 peaks and the things around you aren't that interesting, you can,
Well, and the more things you have, the faster the game goes. It creates that tension between these two polar opposites, right? The more powers you have spread in front of you, the more you can look and cycle through cards, the faster the game goes, meaning the less time you have to bank.
Yeah. Man, this is starting to hang together.
Yeah.
Good.
Thematically, that's for me playing out with these kids cleaning up the playground is you're playing with the junk instead of putting it in the bag. And the more junk you have that you don't have in your bag, the more the teacher's going to yell at you.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know. Okay.
So it is now your turn, Ellen.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so I spent my last turn banking, so I have 1 silver power.
That's your peak ability.
So I can
peek 1 card next to you.
Oh, wow. I'm kind of stuck between a Mark and a Steven here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go towards Steven.
Because I can't do anything about it.
Well, I was going to peek towards Steven. I think I will actually end up going towards Mark.
Oh, okay.
And I revealed a 6. Means nothing.
Moving. It's going to be numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's numbers.
So, Steven, you moved to where your next move would be the one that Ellen just peeked, which she rejected.
I didn't move towards that. I just moved towards the corner.
Right, but now your turn, these are your only 2 options.
Yes.
Whereas if you move this way, you'd have many more options.
I don't need more options.
It's closer to you, though.
Okay.
It's closer to you, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having more options is not that beneficial if none of the options will give you what you need. So.
Sure. Well, that's what I'm thinking about. Like how bad is it to corner yourself if it's an arbitrary choice. One is better than 5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm going to peek at the corner that I left previously because I can move back to it because I know Steven will be going to that corner.
How could you peek there?
Because I have.
It's
a valid move.
It's a valid move.
Oh, you can peek in any valid move?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
One.
That's.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Fine. That's the corner. Oh, you can't tell me. Why am I asking?
Now, see, that was a potential that I'd want to go to because I know, Steven, you're going to go to the 4th corner on your next turn. You could go to the one that Ellen pieced earlier, but I don't think you will.
I don't want.
So this would be a way for me to sort of guarantee another. Although I'm no longer test that, but it seems like you can, if you're motivated and you've got 2 golds, you can just start, wiping the board really clean. So it'd be like a powerful late game thing. If you have like 2 points and everyone else has like a couple things they haven't banked them yet, you can just start going real quick. In any case, I'm not going to go to that one. I'm going to go to this one, which is 2 away, and it is D, whatever D is.
I know, right?
Was D. That's
that is peak.
Silver.
Marie Antoinette.
Mm-hmm. Is that Steven?
Yours,
my turn? Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I still have my silver, so I'm going to peek, and I'm going to move where I peeked.
I moved to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing.
What the heck?
I knew it was going to be
It's your
nothing.
defeatist attitude is why it's always nothing. It is a strange bit of luck.
No, it's because y'all have abilities so you can more, well, I don't know about Mark.
Honestly,
actually, you've only had movement until like the last couple of turns.
Yeah, I only used peak once, so
Yeah.
Ellen's had more advantage. But even with her ability to peak, it hasn't granted her, because in the last board, everything near her was a thing.
Yeah.
So she would have likely gotten maybe 1 fewer if she didn't even have the ability to peak. So I think a lot of it has been luck. The question is like how much do you get? How much does it add up, the more advantage, how much of a spiral is it, you know?
I think it adds up.
I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, you're feeling it. But I don't know that we're there
actually,
yet.
I take it back. Part of the reason why I haven't been able to I haven't gotten any points is because you've been denying me. You're just playing the game. So I'm not mad about it or anything. But like, it don't sound mad, do I?
Maybe a little.
No, but even till I deny you cards that I don't know if they're useful or not. So like, it's
No, you
it's still
denied me
just
the
random.
opportunity to search for cards.
Just that one time.
It was a few times. Like I spent a bunch of turns moving over to get the corner so I can reset the board.
You have wasted exactly 2 turns doing that.
Well, yeah, 2 turns. That's 2 turns of not getting cards. That's
Sure.
what I'm saying. Nobody else has done that. So, yeah. Because I'm so limited in my movement and I can't peek at stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just
But the number of
moving.
cards you actually have flipped over is 2 is it's compared to us, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not like,
Like, I'm not going to say luck is not a factor. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying that, like, I am disadvantaged because I don't have any abilities.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, I did my thing. It is your turn.
Okay. So I'm going to go here. This 9, which is nothing. So, Steven, this is where you staying in the corner is the advantage because I can now block you again next round.
Right.
And just by moving one space at a time, not using any of my powers.
Yeah.
And I forgot to peek again, so that was whoops.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's not
I could have peeked twice. I'm just not paying enough attention.
It's your turn. You can peek at the corners now, I guess.
I can. Just
Mhm.
thinking. What did we decide aces do again?
Anything you want.
Oh, we
they don't
haven't-
take away from you.
Oh no, that's right. You take a power from someone else now.
Is that or
Is that
that
what
I
it is?
lose a power?
We're changing the rules as we go, but I think what we decided was that either you lose one or you take someone from something else. I think losing one. I mean, now I'm speaking. You would take one from me, and you're already winning. But like, I don't remember what we agreed to or what we thought was a good idea.
We didn't agree on anything.
We didn't. I don't think
I
we
think
did
it's
anything.
we decided it was too rare to be that useful, and we wanted something less rare for this to happen.
I don't remember
For
that.
people to lose powers, but
What is our goal for the ace card? Because y'all were talking about it when I kept flipping numbers.
it should feel. For me, it should feel like a mine you step on,
Okay.
right?
You want to disadvantage the player who stepped on it?
I guess, but
I would-
Ellen peeked at it, so obviously she would
I
not.
chose to
she-
go there.
She would not choose to go there if that's what it was. So we can decide that and then just
We'll do it
make Ellen
next.
immune from it or something.
That's fine.
Um,
I mean, I'm obviously biased again, but I would like it to be a blue shell. Or not a blue shell, sorry. I want it to be a
blue shell.
lightning bolt. No,
Oh,
lightning bolt.
So you want to give everybody else a power?
No, I want to get a power, or I want to
Oh, you
take
want-
powers away from y'all and give me a power.
When you hit an ace.
So
Yes.
yeah, I guess, but that feels too powerful to give to someone in the lead, and not powerful enough to give someone who's not in the lead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific.
Yes.
I want you two to lose powers.
So
I want to gain a power.
You want when Ellen stepped on that,
Yes.
you want it to benefit only you.
Yes.
That's not how any of this could work.
Why not?
And that would be a blue shell. It'd be it defeats the person's in the
well,
lead.
no.
Lightning
yeah.
defeats everybody, but you.
Yeah, that's what.
But
well, I
you
know,
didn't
but
land on it. So
I want it to as though I landed on it.
oh, so
Give me the benefit.
okay. I know this is all fun and games, but Steven, this is not logical
Well, why not?
because Ellen landed on it.
Yeah. So.
So
okay,
why do you
fine.
benefit and not me?
Because I'm losing. Fine. All right. I don't know what it does.
I mean, that's a balance on spreadsheet kind of
That-
thing.
well,
but there's no
that's-
mechanic. There's no connection mechanically. to
Okay.
it.
I'm biased, but also my motivations are if somebody is having experience that I'm having where they just do not have any powers, there needs to be some form of a catch-up mechanic. I
Mhm.
think that people who have powers are, advantaged.
Right, and so
in a lot of ways.
so in this case, like if Ellen steps on this, then it should like stepping on an A should wipe you clean. Then, like you lose all your everything you didn't bank is gone.
The thing is because like if I landed on that, I'd get nothing out of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, you wouldn't lose anything.
Yeah, but that's not a benefit. That's just a number card.
Right, so it's not a risk to you.
Right.
It's a risk
So
to someone in the lead. That's the balance mechanic.
that's not a balance mechanic. I don't get any benefit out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you do comparatively to the field.
I get okay in this situation. If I landed on that thing, I get literally nothing out of it, and no, I guess the benefit of it is nobody else will land on that thing. So it actually benefits everybody else because they know that thing is that threat is gone.
Sure.
What I want it to do is I want it to harm. I want it to disadvantage people who are in the lead in some way,
Right.
regardless of who lands on it.
Regardless, you want it to be like a global thing. that
It needs to affect other people because otherwise the people who are me are disadvantaged, and they stay disadvantaged.
Sure. So you want it to hurt Ellen, but also hurt me.
I mean, yeah, it makes it sound bad. It makes it sound like I just want to, mess y'all up. But I'm saying we need some kind of a comeback mechanic. I mean, this could be the mechanism.
So strategically, like if Ellen's got a ton of tokens, and I have 2 tokens, and one of them's peak, and I see one of them is that, I could sacrifice what I have. Well, no, because if I'm landing on it, it doesn't hurt me. Well, no, it hurts everybody who's not whatever. It wipes everybody out. Let's just say it wipes everybody out.
Okay.
In that case, I might choose to do it, even though it hurts me, because it hurts Ellen more.
Potentially.
Depending on...
Yeah, I'm trying to justify this mechanically. Like, why would this make sense? Why would it be something you'd want to do unless you were in last place?
I was just thinking of it as a blue shell catch-up mechanic.
Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't justifying it in that way.
but if it could be that when Ellen lands on it, it's a landmine that Ellen steps on, and it hurts Ellen. That would do that.
It would do that for Ellen, but if I landed on it, it would do nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Right. It would do nothing. And if I'm already in the lead, it's because I have powers that will also help me not step on it.
Those.
The better you... Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's why I'm proposing this thing.
I mean, could it just be a thing that when you whoever activates it, it takes a token from whoever has the most tokens and gives it to the person who has the least tokens?
Right. It's just it's like that. What's that space on Mario Party games where it's just the chance time?
Yeah.
Chance time.
What I'm trying to avoid is something where it's like, this is just a matter of balancing our checkbook.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't feel like gameplay to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If it wipes everybody out, then there's lots of strategy involved.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm comfortable with that too.
Yeah.
Well,
but if it's just like, let's even the scores that's just like, this is the accountant card or something. I just don't like that.
Okay.
Let's wipe it out. It's a wipeout card.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So Ellen, you accidentally landed on it. Let's say.
Or I decided
you made the choice
wanted to see
something. Yeah.
Well, actually, Ellen is winning, so like
I am.
It is actually advantageous.
Right. I'm wiping out.
Also, it gives you motivation to take the turn and you get the points back.
Right.
If that card exists, and you can wipe them out. Right.
You can gain your right exactly. So you can gain lots of tokens and get lots of powers, and when that happens, then it's more of it. You have to decide when you're going to bank it or when you want to keep your powers.
So that's the other reason why this solves my earlier problem of like, why would you ever want to bank it until you mathematically determine you have to?
Yeah.
Right.
It's to prevent that risk.
Yep.
It also lets us interact with each other by seeing someone's got 3 tokens and I peeked at that card. I'm going to lose my 4 tokens, but I've already got a point, which is Ellen, your situation.
That's exactly what I just did.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had 2 tokens and a card.
Right.
You had 4 tokens.
So retroactively, that's why you would have chosen that, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And it works in my favor because now no one has powers.
Right, no one has any powers.
Steven is not as grumpy, and that is an outcome we want from this game.
Yes.
Correct. This is not a game to make people grumpy. That's called cribbage.
Okay, so that was your turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my turn. So it's Steven's turn.
It is. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
Steven, now with a newfound sense of equality.
Oh my goodness! I landed on a thing.
Oh man,
what's the R's?
Everything is fixed.
Everything
Diagonal.
is fixed.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I gave you the wrong one.
Diagonal.
He's not happy.
No. Okay, at least I got a coin. All right, I can't move diagonal. All of those are blocked.
Yeah.
So.
Now, see, I don't have my move 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So my move here to block you doesn't help me a lot because one, I know it's here.
Oh,
and I can move here to prevent you from getting something next turn.
Yeah.
But then if I need to I go this way.
Yeah.
So there's my plan was to go there and just bounce away.
But he can block you, but he's also then not blocking me.
Right. And Ellen, you don't have anything either. We've all been wiped out. So I can block you successfully.
Mm-hmm. Choose wisely.
Yeah. So I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move near Ellen, and all the spaces around Ellen are revealed now. And unfortunately, nothing.
Okay, now it's me.
Yep.
So I'm going to go towards the 4th corner.
Oh, okay.
But I did not reveal a card, so
I will move
towards
the corner as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is another number.
Okay. I'm going to move 1 space away. And reveal also nothing. And Ellen, it looks like you can trigger, or you could not. There's only 1 card unrevealed otherwise.
yeah, I'm going to trigger the cycling.
Okay. So nothing. Just something I know.
Right.
Number card.
So the cards we're standing on stay put. There's only 1 unrevealed card on the board currently. I mean, we've been designing this around this deck of cards, but like it wouldn't be a bad. I'm not against making this a game that anyone can play. That it's not something that's sold in a box.
I mean,
I like it being
like, and then any rule changes we make would be geared towards because it's all arbitrary anyway. So we might as well constrain it towards that and make it something that is just infinitely print and play. We've got enough nice games jams that we're interested in putting in a box and
all you need is like some things. You need some doodads.
Yeah, the tokens and meeples are a thing that like you'd need.
You need some coins or something.
Yeah.
Or silverware.
We could think of a lot of advantages to what can we do that by having a custom set of tiles or something.
Yeah.
But partly because of the way we've been constrained now, I don't think we've come up with much that would require.
I move in diagonal because I have the ability to do it.
Okay.
It's a waste of time.
Well, no, we know there's a 10 there.
Yep. And now I have fewer options.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing unto Mark what he did unto you. So out of that entire grid, only one was a face card.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah. So maybe that means the next one will just be like a bonanza.
Yeah.
And
that kind of variability is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could have all face cards or nothing, like just I guess that's probably why a lot of games do that. Face cards and non-face cards. That's about an interesting. So now what's happened here is that there are not enough cards in the deck to fill out the garden.
I don't know how that works.
Let's shuffle some more back in.
Well, here's the question: is the end of the game is when we go through all the cards. So maybe we need a mechanism by which to not use new cards, not shuffle the deck and add more cards.
I think we just shuffle. Well, we can come up with that later, but for now, I say we shuffle the deck, fill out the rest of the garden, and then that's the last garden.
Okay.
Yeah,
it feels a little strange to me, but it does solve a lot of problems about like placement and stuff. So
I think it is a little strange. I mean, like if we were designing our own deck, then we have to figure out a different garden arrangement.
Yeah. Well, because of the way we've decided how things get cycled out, it would never be divisible by anything in a predictable way.
Right.
So this is a solution to that.
Yep.
Just filling out with whatever. The other option could be that when we replace cards in that last time, you do them one at a time, and then so we just leave the ones left, and we count from some corner or something.
This seems more elegant. I don't know.
Well, it just ultimately means we're using more cards than there are in the deck, but
that's okay.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because then there's an opportunity to get more points than you would expect, which is kind of exciting.
Right. So maybe like if there's only one card left in the deck, then you get a whole.
Yeah.
I don't love that, but like it's fine for now. There's no problem exactly. It's more just about feel.
So I did the corner card, so it's Steven's turn.
Does the game end when all four corners are revealed?
Let's say in this last one, all the cards need to be revealed.
Okay.
Sure.
I guess.
Right.
Oh, yeah, sure, because then you get more opportunity for points.
I don't know.
I'm doing it anyway.
Either way is whatever, but I got an ace. Everybody's wiped clean.
Yay. Power for one power.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some balance issues here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
So in this case, this benefited Ellen alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she has a point.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then Ellen finds
diagonal for Ellen.
God, diagonal. Yeah.
Ellen is just going to... What's interesting about this, so I just moved and got nothing, is that at this point, we now kind of know what's going to happen. And Ellen, there's really nothing you can do to get anything. So where are you even going to go? Like, I think there's some agency that you should be able to have in a situation where you can't... Because otherwise, it's just 3 turns of you moving wherever.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you move where somebody else is, you can do something, or maybe that would be a good time to use the bank, I guess. And so maybe it's okay.
For now, it would be a good time to bank.
Yeah.
So
there'll be situations like this where there are 3 turns left where there's nothing you can do.
I think we're just going to play it out like that.
Yes.
And then we can talk about what we want to change. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to.
Well, I guess you should because you have to, right?
I went there.
It's weird.
I revisited a card that I already did.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna move.
Let's all converge on this thing.
I'm gonna peek at it.
Yeah,
because you can
just to see what it says.
Guess. Just guess.
It's an ace.
I wish.
That'd be hilarious.
It just does happen.
Okay.
All right, that's the game.
So the end game, even in a situation where we had a lot of points with those 2 aces didn't come, I think the end game probably needs some work.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I think a lot of it needs some work, but it was fun. I think that waiting. I think you should be able to bank. I think 1 token should equal 1 point.
Yeah.
The entire game, the only person to bank 3 was me.
Yeah.
And the only other person who had an option of ever banking 3 was you. Like only ever had the option. Then you lost it to an ace. So I think that.
Well, the thing is, it's supposed to be depends on how savvy you play. Because if the powers have to be so beneficial that you don't just bank points as soon as you get them. Because
the powers are that beneficial.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, having only gotten it for a little bit of time, it was pretty helpful.
Right, but I didn't have any, like, I uncovered some powers.
Yeah.
Without having any, like, I didn't
No,
know, right?
well,
so, like, I got lucky early on.
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, you got, like, those last 2 fields, you got, I think, 1 more than I did. We just both got wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
And you ended with one more.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't, if I were just to instead bank every one, I don't think I would have gotten fewer.
I think
I definitely wouldn't. I never peeked at a card that gave me one.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
there wasn't any time that I used my move 2 to get out of a jam. Just it happened to be.
Sure.
It's not always going to happen. Just in my particular instance, if I had banked every time, I would have just won, and none of my moves would have. Well, very few of my moves would have been different.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that like I feel like Ellen was able to use peeking quite advantageously.
Yeah.
And you were able to use movement quite advantageously.
Sure.
And I didn't really get the opportunity to do it. I did use my diagonals. Even when I had my diagonals, it gave me more opportunities to search for stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it does give you pretty significant bonuses. Significant enough to want to hold on to at least one coin.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we made a playable game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would not be, in its current state, it would not be a game I would want to play again. But it could be something that like 10-year-old me would play.
Yeah.
Just because it's too swingy and there's too much randomization. But I think there's a way to deal with that by maybe like changing the way, maybe making powers a little bit more frequent.
Yeah.
And also maybe making it so like the color tokens don't matter, just the number that you have. So like when you get 1, you get like your first slap power.
Yeah.
And then you get a second one, that's your second slap power, and your third is your third slap power.
Yeah, it could also be maybe there are 4 suits in the game, so it could be those are the 3 powers and the wipeout, and so it's just constant. Mm-hmm. And then you do have to want to bank 3, and then just so that the actions happen more often.
Yeah.
Might be a good way to do it. It could be that like, or it could be the opposite. It could be number cards give you an ability based on suit. Face cards do nothing, and the ace is still the wipeout.
Mm-hmm.
That might just be a balance. And then the gameplay is the same otherwise as we've done. That might actually just solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, it definitely, to me, feels like the core is there.
Yeah. It's a question of like, is there anything wrong with the rules, or is it the balance?
I think it's the balance.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly balance, but I think that first, before balance, it's a little bit of tweaking of the rules.
Yeah, I agree with that. But for now, listener, you can take the rules that we've got, that Stephen has been keeping notes on this whole time while he was being beaten by Ellen.
You'd think I'd had a lot of time, but they'll be in a ready state by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, and try it yourself, because this is one of those games where you have all the things you need. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm pondering right now, but like, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to take some wrenches to it and move some bolts around. But I also think that we did an okay job.
Yeah, how did we do on the prompts here? I forgot about those.
Playthinker things. So I definitely think we hit on exploration, and we definitely hit on approach, right? Like we're trying to approach the cards that are unrevealed.
And each other, and the corners.
Efficiency, the player is motivated to master the game system so they can play cleanly and expertly. Mastery can come from precise control, knowledge of the system, exploitation of glitches, and so on. I think that we could eventually get to the state, but I think it would take some adjustments to the bolts, like I said.
I would say that, like, in its current state, that is a minor concern of the game.
Yeah.
And that explains why we don't go for it very hard. If it was a more top tier, then the game would have problems. But I don't know that that's a problem with the game right now.
Well, I mean, these cards are just...
No, for sure. It's just,
to get you started. I mean, unless you take them really seriously. If you could get your own deck of Playthinker cards, and you can take the prompt cards as seriously as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Combinations, simple objects can be combined with some degree of freedom to create more complex ones. I think we have a start of something there.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think we decided not to go that far down that road.
Yeah.
Like, we had a couple of opportunities, and we kept finding it making more sense to be a little simpler. And I think I mean, we made the choices. I think they were the right one, but I could see that feeling like we could have leaned in that a little harder.
Yeah.
We could have tried harder on that part.
It just, for right now, we could have. I think there needs to be more skill involved in the game. It's just too much luck right now.
Right.
And so we'll have to noodle how to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, part of me is like okay with there being a lot of like, especially thinking about like, this is a game you pull out at a family gathering.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me that just is kind of into that, like as a pillar of the game. But also it can lead to frustration if you only play twice and you lose badly both times or something. Then you might just have an impression of the game.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well done, team.
Yay.
It's the first in-person board game we've done.
Yeah.
In a long, long while.
Yeah.
And I would say like, oh, we're still figuring it out, but like we did great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's warm in this room. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up so we can turn the air conditioner on. It's a super good idea. Hey, that's our show. Check out our website, nicegames.club, for show notes and links to resources on today's topics, which are this game. Stephen will have the rules for you to peruse and play at home. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode and our programming in general. Go to nicegames.club/feedback. Tell us what you think. You can get in touch with us also on Twitter at NiceGamesClub, where Dale tweets about game dev resources and things urbanists fail to consider. Or you can email us, contact@nicegames.club. Want to support the show? There are so many ways. You can give us a review on your favorite podcast app. You can tell your friends about your favorite episodes. You can join us on Discord by visiting nicegames.club/Discord. And also, we are on Patreon. That's right. As a patron of the show, you'll enjoy bonus content, extra jokes, and a whole lot more. Sign up at patreon.com/nicegamesclub. So until we start again, remember to
play nice
and make nice.
Well, first I gotta move my chair because it's getting past me.
Well, let's keep that in.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
We have this chair here where Holly was sitting before she left us, and we could be using that one instead. But you're already set up over there.
That idea did not occur to me until just now.
Well, now would be the time to move.
Yeah, but I'm already sitting down.
I know. I know.
I'm glad we had Holly on.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's so smart.
Yeah,
we gotta keep this in the episode so Holly knows how smart, intelligent, and wonderful person she is.
Spotify is where millennials and Gen Zs are creating, curating, and experiencing culture. And now they're ready for a reset. Gen Zs can't wait to reconnect with their friends in real life. And millennials are still trying to manage work-life balance at home. One thing they have in common, audio is helping them navigate what's next.
Audio,
music,
podcast,
ASMR,
soundscape,
playlist. Learn more about both generations in Culture Next, Spotify's annual trend report.
No matter where you are, there's probably a Speedway right around the corner. So whether you want a freshly brewed hot or iced coffee, fountain drink, or Speedy Freeze, Speedway's got the fuel to keep you going all summer.